Today we'll be checking out a new flagship-killing Poco phone, the Poco F7. So what's new with this year's model, and how value-packed is it? I'm Will for GSM Arena, and let's find out in our Poco F7 review. This year we get 3 models in the F series. We've already reviewed the F7 Pro and Ultra models, and now it's time for the regular or vanilla Poco F7. As a flagship killer sort of device, the F7 comes with a high-end chipset and display, like what you could get from a flagship, but has trade-offs in the cameras to keep the price down. The rest of the features are still quite solid though, and include a large battery, fast charging, and an interesting design. Poco has gone for a two-tone back design with a diagonal split, and that split is mirrored within the vertical camera island. And there's also a limited edition silver colorway with additional machine-like decals if you're into a more gamer-style look. The materials here are more premium than last year. Rather than plastic, the back of the Poco F7 is made of glass. It is rather easy to smudge. The frame has also been upgraded to aluminum, and overall the phone feels quite solid in hand. And on top of that, Xiaomi has improved the ingress protection this year. The F7 is IP68 rated against dust and water submersion. Also, the screen has gotten bigger. It's a 6.83-inch high-res OLED with a 120Hz refresh rate and Gorilla Glass 7 eye protection. The display is brighter now too. On the Poco F7, we measured over 750 nits maximum with the manual slider, and this can boost to over 1500 nits in auto mode. More than plenty for good usability outdoors. The display looks great, with its good sharpness and slim bezels. There's support for 12-bit color depth here, and you also get HDR10+ and Dolby Vision video playback. All that's really missing here compared to a true flagship is LTPO tech. The Poco F7's refresh rate is adaptive, going from a smooth 120Hz to 60Hz when possible to save energy, but it won't go lower than that. For audio, there's a pair of stereo speakers, and they earned a rating of good on our loudness chart. The audio quality is good too, with generally clear mids and some bass. You can have a listen for yourself in our comparison tool linked below. The F7 has an under-display optical fingerprint reader for biometrics, and is snappy and accurate. And the phone has an IR blaster on board too, but it's located on the back on the camera bump, which is more convenient as you can see the buttons on the screen while operating an appliance. You can get the Poco F7 with 256 or 512 gigs of storage on board that isn't expandable through microSD card. And the interface of the phone is Xiaomi's HyperOS 2 on top of Android 15. It runs much the same way as it has on any recent Xiaomi or Poco phone. But HyperOS 2 does bring plenty of AI functionality too, and the F7 appears to get the full suite. Of course, you have Google's Gemini AI assistant on board, with all of the functionality that it provides. But there are also plenty of proprietary Xiaomi AI features, which you can find listed in the Hyper AI menu. These include writing tools, dynamic AI-generated wallpapers, and AI tools for image editing. There's also plenty of audio-based AI functionality, including transcription of audio to text, translation, and generation of subtitles. We're actually working on a dedicated video for HyperOS 2 and all of its AI features, which we'll link here when it's ready. And for support, the Poco F7 is promised 4 major OS updates and 6 years of security patches. Now let's get into the chipset. The Poco F7 is equipped with a new chip from Qualcomm, the Snapdragon 8S Gen 4. In benchmarks, it's not as powerful as this year's flagships running on a Snapdragon 8 Elite. What you get is performance about on par with last year's flagships, but with slightly lower CPU and graphics scores. So overall, there's plenty of power here for a snappy daily experience, and heavy gaming too. The Poco F7 does a decent job with its thermal management as well. In our prolonged stress tests, we observed relatively minor thermal throttling. The phone did get hot during testing, but that's also true for the other 2 F7 models. We have the international version of the Poco F7, which means that our unit has a 6500 mAh battery. The Indian version gets an even larger one at 7550 mAh. Overall, the Poco F7 did a very good job in our battery life tests, earning an active use score of 14 hours and 45 minutes. It's a huge improvement over the sub-11 hour score of last year's model. but it's perhaps not as great as some people have been hoping for, seeing that big battery capacity. The phone supports 90-watt charging, and in some markets you can get the proper charger and cable in the box, otherwise you'd have to get them separately. If you do have those things, you get very fast charging on the F7. We were able to go from 0 to 90% in half an hour, and a full charge took 39 minutes. And now for the cameras. The Poco F7 has a fairly simple setup, with a 50-megapixel main camera and a rather basic 8-megapixel ultrawide. In good light, the main camera takes photos with nice-looking colors and a good amount of detail. That's with a bit too much sharpening, but still. There could also stand to be more contrast here, and the dynamic range is rather narrow. Portrait shots come out pretty good. The subject detection and separation are great. And when zooming digitally at 2 times, the results are quite decent. There even seems to be less sharpening here than the regular shots for some reason. In low light, the main camera does a solid job. There is night mode processing going on automatically, and you get plenty of detail in the frame and very little noise. There is still plenty of sharpening. The dynamic range is wide though, with well-developed shadows and highlights. The Poco F7's ultrawide camera does just an okay job during the day. Colors look good, but the sharpness, detail, and dynamic range aren't great. And the ultrawide camera struggles quite a bit in low light. Surfaces come out looking soft and smudged without much detail, and light sources are blown out. Selfies come from a 20-megapixel front-facing cam, and they're alright. The detail is good, but the skin tones are a bit off. The dynamic range could be better too. The F7's main cam can record video in 4K resolution, while the ultrawide and selfie cams are capped at 1080p. 4K videos from the main camera are solid. They have plenty of detail, pleasant-looking colors, and good contrast and dynamic range. But the full HD video from the ultrawide really isn't impressive in any way. And while there is electronic stabilization, it's not the best. There is some wobbling left over, especially when walking. In low light, the main camera does a decent job. Its videos are pretty detailed, with low noise and good dynamic range. So that's the Poco F7. It's quite a solid flagship killer, with plenty of upgrades over last year. The build quality is better, the screen is bigger and brighter, and you get very good battery life. The only major shortcoming here is the camera performance. While the main cam is good, the ultrawide and selfie cams are lackluster. Other than that, the Poco F7 is a great mid-ranger that's worth recommending. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're looking for alternatives on our channel, you can check out our reviews of the Poco X7 Pro and the Samsung Galaxy A56. Let us know what you think, and I'll see you on the next one.